Welcome back to Sun Crypto. In today's content, we're going to talk about XRP, and we're going to make a very detailed analysis of XRP, right? From a weekly time frame to like an hourly time frame, and at the same time, we're going to take a look at the volume, right? It's very important, the volume of XRP. I'm waiting for to create to spark the bull run, right? So stay tight. So the first thing we're gonna take a look at. I know you're gonna be tired of hearing me talking about this weekly chart, right? That's the most beautiful and then the most compelling reversal pattern I ever seen, right? Even Bitcoin made this type of reversal pattern in on a daily time frame. The last bull run, right, from November 2013 to I think like August or September 2015, right? That was like a big reversal pattern. So when you take a look at the weekly time frame, right, so it is pretty beautiful. We got a big rejection to the downside, a big support. I'm very comfortable with this support. Even like we get a fake out of 10-15%, I'm still going to be comfortable because I know XRP got a big support just about this area. I don't think like it's going to get there, but if it does, I'm still going to be comfortable of accumulating just about this area, right? This area of let's say I think like 6,000 to 7,000 sats, right? So, and then when you take a closer look, right? When you take a closer look, right, you got a big, on the weekly time frame, you got a big rejection just like that, right? A big rejection and a nice support just about this area. The support could last another week or so. I'm expecting like not another week, but I'm expecting like XRP, this rejection to get as low as possible. This is a big rejection just like that. And then if I zoom in, you can see like, you can see that this rejection is so big, right? The next few rejection just small, right? I'm expecting another very small rejection to the upside, right? We're going to take a look at another lower time frame before the end of the video, right? So I'm expecting a very low rejection just about this area of 8,000, another rejection, right? So, and then after that, I'm expecting like very impulse, very aggressive, surprising, very epic move to the upside, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at the daily time frame. When you take a look at the daily time frame, and then the crossover, I talked about this crossover just about like 5-7 days before this crossover took place, right? So I said like this crossover most likely going to be keeping the price down, and then while we're accumulating. So this crossover is almost completed. So we just need like more separation between the 100 and then the 50 EMA, right? So what I'm expecting, right? Let's change color, yellow, right? I'm expecting this 50 EMA to get more momentum and make like a very it's not going to be a V shape, but I'm expecting like a semicircle, inverted semicircle, just like that. I mean, a semicircle is a semicircle, whether it's inverted or not. So I'm expecting this type of V shape, right? It doesn't mean like price gonna be moving this way. Price is not going to be moving this way, because as soon as price like break this area of this area of crossover, the 50 EMA most likely going to start to make a U-turn, right? A very beautiful U-turn. So anticipate this U-turn, a nice crossover, and then that's it. We're gonna go to the moon, right? So I'm not expecting like, the reason why I say V shape, I'm not expecting this V shape. It could happen, but the price is too close to the crossover for us to get like a V shape, right? So what I'm expecting a U-turn. If we get a V shape of the 50 EMA crossing the 100 EMA, that means like XRP going to be very explosive, right? Very explosive. That means like this 50 EMA has to make a very rapid growth, right? It's going to have a very rapid growth rate. So just keep that in mind also. So next thing we're going to take a look at, the 4-hour chart. Before we take a 4-hour chart, we're just going to quickly talk about the RSI. The RSI, nice double bottom, right, on the daily time frame. So we got a nice double bottom just about this area. Just about this area, we got a nice double bottom, right? You can take a look at it. So what I'm expecting also, right, for the RSI, right, just for the short term, right? Let's see if this RSI could just come back, make sure, you know, we get this area clean, right? So that means like we could be like accumulating for, you know, next couple of days, right? It's very possible. So you just gotta keep that in mind. So not to have like all the time a bullish mentality. Sometimes you have to let, you know, things like you know, you have to let things mature, right? So the RSI could be making this type of formation and then ready to break out, right? So that's very possible. Just keep that in mind. Let's go to a lower time frame. When you take a look at the 4 hour, the 4 hour chart is looking like extremely bullish, right? We got a lot of signals, right, of bullishness on the 4 hour time frame. The first one is you got this bottom formation, right, on the 4 hour time frame. And then if you recognize this bottom formation, XLM made the same type of bottom formation, right? So before a 6% move to the upside, but this bottom formation on the XLM made it on the daily time frame, and XLM went up like 40%. So same type of bottom formation, a move to the upside, very impulse move to the upside, a 3-wave move to the downside. You can go back and watch my XLM video, right? XLM made this move actually, let me see, let me redo it, right? So XLM made a XLM made a 3-wave up. I would think like it's gonna make 3-wave down, but XLM just made a very small 1-to-1 extension. I mean, this wave to that wave, 1-to-1 extension, and then a very impulse move to the upside, and then went up like 40%. So, but XLM made it on the daily time frame. XRP is making it on the 4 hour time frame. So basically, you know, you can be ready for a very impulse move to the upside. I'm not sure if that move going to be like a spark the bull run, or if just going to be a fake out, but it's going to be a very explosive move, maybe a 15 to 20% move to the upside. So you take a look at the RSI, look at the divergence, right? So your RSI is moving to the upside, you know, like let's say since like last week, right? Last 7 days, right? Today is the 14th, right? Since the 8th, right? Last 6 days, you're getting a big divergence, right? Break below it, it's just a retest. It's gonna go above. It's just gonna go back above it, right? So, and then price is remaining flat, right? Big support, okay? An ABC correction to the downside, right? So basically, what I'm trying to say, on the 4 hour chart, we're bullish on the 4 hour chart. So we could see something happening like the next 4 hours or, you know, 8 hours, right? I'm not sure if it's gonna be 10-15% or not. So let's go ahead and take a look at the hourly chart now. When you take a look at the hourly chart, it's the same trend line on the RSI. We're going to start with the RSI, right? The same trend line I got on the 4 hour chart. That's the same trend line you're seeing right now. I haven't changed I didn't change the trend line, right? So you see we broke below it. Now we got a resistance, you know, because of this trend line. So most likely we're going to make a slight, we're going to come back on the RSI, maybe retest this area, break it, right? Make a fake out and jump back to this area. The reason why I said like the 4 hour, on the 4 hour, right? I say like the RSI gonna jump back above this area of resistance, right? That's the same trend line. I didn't change it, so it's gonna move back above that 4 hour. So the 4 hour is not gonna be oversold. So I don't expect like the 4 hour to be completely oversold, because the hourly is already like almost oversold, right? So it's gonna move very rapidly, because you got, when you go to the price action on the hourly time frame, you're gonna get a double bottom, right? You're gonna get this double bottom. I'm expecting this double bottom, right? So maybe a slight pullback, right? And then a move to the upside. So basically, what I'm trying to say, when you go from the 4 hour chart to the hourly chart, you can confirm your bullishness of your 4 hour by looking at the hourly chart, right? The hourly is bearish, right? But it's very bearish, right? It's on the bearish side, but it is going to help the 4 hour chart, you know, to be bullish. So I don't know if you understand what I mean or not, but hopefully you get it, right? So, and then the next thing we're going to take a look at is the volume profile, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at the volume. When you take a look at the volume, we're going to start with the lower time frame, right? Because it is pretty interesting. If you watch my previous video, right, about XRP, when we get this big pump, like I think like 3-4% up, right? Let's see, we got like 3% pump, right? And everybody got, you know, I was getting excited myself, but I have to remain very calm. So I was very excited once we got this big pump. On the lower time frame, it looks great, this big pump. But when you take a look at the on the big time frame, it looks great, but on the lower time frame, it was horrible. As soon as we got this pump, I went to the lower time frame, right? You can go back and watch that video. I said like XRP, right, gonna get a ABC correction to the downside, right? Gonna get this somewhere around here, A, B, and C. And I said like we're gonna get a support from this area of 50 EMA, right? We got a support from this 50 EMA, but it wasn't strong enough, you know, to because of this big volume. Because of this big volume we received right here, the 50 EMA could not like handle the pressure, so it just had to let it go. Now we got a big, you know, ABC correction to the downside, so it's pretty normal. And then the other thing I said, right, I said about the volume was, when you take a look at the volume, right, we got this. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Zoom in, right? This is what you got, right? You got a big pump, right? Very small volume right here, right? And then after that, what happened, right? People start accumulating, right? People just, you know, taking profit, you know, basically a very big selling pressure come in, right? So, and I said like most likely the next few hours, right, the volume going to be depleting just like that, right? Depleting, right? And then the bulls, either the bulls going to push the price to the upside, right, or the bear is going to push the price to the downside. You can go back and watch that video. I say the bull is going to come in with a big volume to the upside, or the bear is going to come back and then push the price to the downside. So I take a look at what happened. This area right here, right? The price came back down all the way up to this area, and then the bears step in. So somebody is accumulating. They're not keeping the price down just because they want to keep the price down. They're accumulating, you know, they're keeping the price down for a reason. So just be ready for a very aggressive move of XRP very shortly. It doesn't make any sense, right? The whole market going 60 to 70% on on a weekly basis, right? You take a look at the XRP. XLM is up like 40% the last, maybe 2 weeks. XRP is not even like up 2%. So it doesn't make any sense, right? So keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and take a look at the volume on a daily time frame, right? You take a look at the volume, right? We made a very aggressive move yesterday on the volume, right? When you take a look at this area of the volume, I said it yesterday, this volume right here was the biggest volume since like February 25th. So it is pretty significant, right? So you got big volume coming in. That's the biggest volume in 2 weeks. But look at the next week, right? So the following day, right? March 14th. So the volume is almost like 75% of the previous bullish volume, right? So and then we got like 6 hours left. Let me see. I think we got like about like 4.5 hours left. So the selling pressure might be like depleting by this time, right? Because I don't think we're gonna go any lower. So at least the next 4 hours, right? So keep that in mind, right? The volume, we got a big volume yesterday. So March 15 gonna be very interesting because this candle right here, it's a reversal candle. At the same time, it's a it's a bearish candle, but it's pretty interesting on the daily time frame. I'm very comfortable with this candle, even though we got like a 3-5% rejection. And then on the daily time frame, when you take a look at it, right, the crossover is pretty clean, right? We got a clean crossover, no more like a rejection, right? But we have to deal with this area of 50 EMA. Most of the if you go back and watch all my videos, right, I said all altcoins going to be moving above the 100 EMA. So all of them, no exception. So they're going to be moving above the 100 EMA. Even BTC is going to be moving very shortly above its 100 EMA. So what I'm expecting from XRP, right, at least like before Sunday, to get back to this area and get a challenge, a big fight, right? It's going to be very volatile. I'm not sure who's going to win the fight, but it's going to be very, very volatile. So if XRP manages to close like before the weekly candle, before Sunday, right, the weekly candle closes, we could get like a very exciting week next week. So just keep that in mind, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at the weekly time frame now. When you take a look at the weekly time frame, right, and then the volume, it is pretty interesting. It is extremely bullish, even though like the hourly The hourly time frame is very bearish. I said it. Don't make a judgment based on the hourly time frame, because it's too much noise. You just get like some sort of assumption. But the weekly and then the daily time frame gonna give you like your trend for XRP. I'm not sure about other projects, right? But for XRP, the weekly time frame is very important. So look at this. Look at this support we got, right? The 50 EMA is just crossing, in the middle of these candles, right? So we got a big support. So hopefully, like before Sunday, XRP can close at or above this 50 EMA. That's my biggest concern. So, and if XRP close above the 50 EMA on the daily time frame, I just showed you, right? Most likely on the weekly time frame, it's going to close above the weekly time frame. So that's going to be a combination of XRP closing above the 50 EMA on the weekly time frame, and at the same time closing above the 50 EMA on the daily time frame. So you're getting like a double combination of a bullishness. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the volume on the weekly time frame. You take a look at the volume, right? It's just about half of the previous bullish volume right here. And then take a look at this big candle we got right here, this big rejection, right? So if the volume also, we can get like on the 24-hour volume, we can get like let's say 1.2 to 1.8 billion. I don't think we're going to get, a 1.8 billion daily average right before end of the week. But like, let's say we even like break above this area of this volume profile right here, this area of resistance, just about this area before Sunday. It's going to be very bullish for XRP next week. So I'm waiting for XRP to complete all these moves and then make a very aggressive move, next week or the following week. So that move could be like 25% move to the upside. Still good, right? 30% move, and then a slight pullback, get another support from the either from the 50 EMA or a crossover, right? And then a further move up to the upside. So I'm expecting at least XRP this spring to be one of the most aggressive coin, right? Beside like Populous and all of them. But I think Populous got a big sell-off, and then it's gonna recover very fast. So I'm expecting before the end of the summer at the same time, right, XRP to go back to all-time high. I said it on one of my videos. So an all-time high is nothing but what? When you take a look at 200%, right? 200% for XRP is nothing. You take a look at it, right? XRP went up 200% in 1 week, just about this area, right? Just about this area. Sorry, excuse me. Just about this area. It was actually like 180, right? 180% in 1 week, right? So going from 180 to 190 is it's only about what? Less than 10%, right? So just be mindful. BNB is like at all-time high. Chainlink is at all-time high. Most coins at all-time high right now, and then they're going to go back to their all-time high. But I think like XRP is the next coin to be going to all-time high very shortly versus BTC, right? So just keep that in mind. So if you like XRP, you like the content, make sure to hit the like and subscribe, right, for future updates, because I'm going to be updating XRP every week until the spring, right? If you don't like XRP, you can hit the thumbs up at the same time. Let me know what you think down below if why you don't hit like XRP, right? Thank you for watching.